Hi, this is Kim White with the My Sexy Business Team. I'm here with my co-host,
Kristi Bridges from One Moment Wiser.
And Miss Coni Meyers. She has joined us for this session. This is session number 15 at the Hope to Hope conference. I cannot believe it's the third day. But I do want to apologize to everybody because I am one frustrated princess this morning. We have had 20 minutes of technical difficulties. I've been on set since a little after 6 o'clock this morning. Everything was working fine. We got ready to go live. The computer had to update. The app had to shut down. The Wi-Fi decided not to work. All this in one foul swoop.
Right at 9.
Right at 9. So I want you to know, I was here. We were here. We were like trying, but oh my goodness, we were about to go live on the phone because we didn't know what to do.
We knew you needed coffee. I hope you enjoyed your break.
Well, to get right into it, since we have wasted 20 minutes of time with this session, this conference came from something that happened in my life. It came from the loss of my son. It's been almost 17 years ago. And if you've been watching, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but for those of you just joining us, I want to make sure you know that this is actually a celebration of his life is why I even started this. And it's evolved into something bigger than I ever imagined because it was supposed to. It was supposed to be a magical thing. We've had the most amazing guests. We've had the most amazing speakers that have come on and shared their stories of vulnerability. You know, there's power in vulnerability that we think we have to mask that. We think that we need to hide those things because people won't like us if they know that we've been broke or that we've, cried over something, or we've had some kind of a loss or a grief, or I can just go on and on with the thing that we think we have to mask. This conference is all about not masking any of it. It's about being real, pretty raw, and real about things, but making sure you can get through whatever it is you're going through, that we've all been through some things. Some afflicted on us, some we afflict on ourselves. Mm-hmm. But we can get through those things. So that's what this conference is all about. Now, this session is all about the fact that each of you have a story to tell. Each of you have something you've come through, and you can reach back and help someone else because of the things you learned. I learned so much about grieving through the process. I had no idea how to do a funeral or any of that stuff whenever that happened, but now I can help other families who lose a child because I understand the process. It's not something I picked. A lot of the things that happen to us, we would never pick.
No,
we would never pick.
Who signs up for this stuff?
But I am grateful for what all has happened, and I'm grateful for the things that have made us stronger.
Yes.
And made us who we are today. So whatever is going on in your life, I just want to speak to you about that. I want to tell you, whatever it is, you don't have to be discouraged. You don't have to stay there. You don't have to be in that place. Life gives us, things to deal with.
Yeah.
But we can be together and encourage each other. So Kristi proposed something to me. She's a little firecracker. I think I've mentioned that. She's a mess, but she proposed at the last minute, I want to say, that we do a session on how you actually can become a speaker on the Hope to Hope conference and how you can start telling your story of how, you got to the other side of something. And it's a brilliant idea. I'm not sure we're prepared enough. We have laughed because we are like still throwing, because this is what princesses do.
Will you guys help us through this process?
Yes,
I trust you. I have to say, I'm a little selfish. I just really like your stories. Oh my goodness. Not everybody sounds like him. And not everybody has experienced what I've experienced. And not everybody has the same perspective and wisdom as Coni. So you have your own experience, your own voice, your own perspective. And that makes me look forward to hearing from you.
Yes.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just get excited.
No, this is what I deal with. Kristi's like amazing though. She has lots of great ideas. And this is a brilliant idea because I really never thought about it. We've been going through the people that like we know. Mm-hmm. That's who we have invited. We run with some pretty amazing people.
I was going to say,
and
wow.
That came from not necessarily, from that we're important. Mm-hmm. It's from the giving. I really believe that when you open yourself up and give of yourself, you attract the most amazing people.
Absolutely.
They come into your life because they're attracted to what they see. If you're generous, you attract generous people. It's just the way that it works. And so we have a pretty amazing circle. But Kristi's right about the fact that this circle can be enlarged by you taking the time to tell your story and to create, really you craft your story. This is something that you need to know. Our stories have been told. I've told my story so many times at this point that it sounds much more polished than the first time I held my breath all the way through it and, cried my way through it. So I don't want you to think that we're not still, touchy-feely, because we are. I think we cried 4 times yesterday.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. At least. But the thing is you get to the point where you can talk about things that will help other people get through things. And that's what we want to talk to you about in this session, is the fact that you have a story to tell. Kristi has some insight into getting that ready, how to get your story ready. But we really are interested in other speakers. Mm-hmm. You do not get paid for coming on Hope to Hope. So everyone that's a speaker, they all have voluntarily given of themselves and their time. Vulnerability is required.
Absolutely.
It's not a selling.
It's not your story.
Yes. If your motive is to help someone else through something you've been through, then you're a perfect candidate for the Hope to Hope conference. But she's going to talk about how to get there.
Yeah. Well, and if you are not interested in being on a camera seen by hundreds of thousands of people, that's okay. Yes. You might be at some point, so don't knock it till you try it. It's pretty cool. But you still need to tell your story, because you know what? On the bus or at the grocery store or at the office or somewhere, you are going to be near somebody who actually needs you to pause your schedule for a minute and share something from your life that they're going through or that they're dealing with. And the more we tell our stories, the more we personally see the real things that we've gotten from them. The more we personally see maybe some of the reasons or the contributing factors to them more clearly. And so it actually helps us as well as that person next to you. So don't just turn this off because, you don't want to be on worldwide Hope to Hope. So talk about, Coni, I'm just thinking, there are a lot of people who are like, I don't have a story. I'm boring, right?
Everybody has a story. Mm-hmm. Everybody has a story, and it doesn't have to be as big as losing a child or as big as losing a husband. It could be, I just got laid off from my job and I need to move forward and I don't know how to move forward. Or it could be I'm waking up with headaches every day. It could be having a problem with a child that's maybe not behaving properly. All those, I call those crystalline moments.
Mm-hmm.
So crystalline means sparkly or clear. So those are moments of clarity. And they happen every single day. We had a crystalline moment this morning just trying to get on. And I'm not
That's
sure.
not what I
Not all crystalline moments are good things.
I did not cuss though.
Yeah, no, you
I
did
thought
not.
I was impressed. They were impressed I was not like throwing a fit. But I can tell you I was not a happy camper.
I threw my coffee, not on purpose.
So
Yeah, that was another mistake.
oh yeah, that's the whole coffee cup went. So those kinds of moments, I don't know what the opportunity is, but the one thing for sure, you're seeing us real.
Yes.
Because Kim was frustrated. And poor Kristi poured her whole cup of coffee onto the carpet. And so we all have those times, but there's always an opportunity. Maybe the opportunity from this morning is that you all get to see us a little flustered, a little not sure what we're doing. And so we look like everybody else out there right now that gets a little frustrated and not sure what to do next.
Yes.
So those are all, but there's always a gift, there's always an opportunity, and the story can be as little as being frustrated over technology.
That's right. And, when we talk about things, even though it sounds silly, right, that we're talking about tech wrecks, but when we're talking about things, we can also demonstrate how we deal with them. And this isn't, you're not going to sit on the bus next to somebody on the way to work and tell them, well, I deal with things without cussing. But, right? But Tracy Randall yesterday morning talked about a frustrating time, but how much better she is now at dealing with it than she was a year ago, and how she still has some work and later she's going to get better. So we can show progress and we can model behavior. But let's I think what people need the most, and now that we told you have an idea, I think what people need the most is maybe some tips. You guys, let's walk through the process of coming up with a Hope to Hope story. So this is just a beginning bunch of notes that you're going to throw down that are going to get you thinking. But let's walk through that process of coming up with your Hope to Hope story. So I'm going to give you instructions. I'm going to paste them in the comments. I'm going to give you instructions, and I want you take this seriously because you just don't know what power you have. None of the speakers the last couple of days knew the power they had at the time, and now they're phenomenal. So take your time and pause this video long enough to do each step as I walk you through the steps. And then I'll show you my end results and you tell us about yours, okay?
Well, and let me just say this. I was helping Kristi understand this morning about the hope pausing or the long delay in a live video. Mm-hmm. In a live video, you don't want to have a giant pause. So if most people watch by replay, that's just the way that it works. Most people can't get on every time you get on. And so the ones that are watching it live, go back and you can pause or just go along with Kristi as she goes. But the ones that are on replay, be sure and let us know that you're on replay. Let us know that you're there and where you're from.
Yeah.
I love that. I learned that from somebody else. I just want you to know.
Nice.
But pausing the video and doing the work is huge. We just want you to understand we're not saying something silly because we realize you can't pause live video.
Exactly. So if you're watching live, you don't want to watch me file my nails while I wait for you to come up with ideas. So I'm gonna give you the chance to see the instructions, hear the instructions, and then afterwards just replay it and do the exercise. I think it always helps us to hear things more than once, but it's so cute. Kim was right. She was talking me through this process, and even in that, she threw in something she'd learned from somebody else. So we're always learning, no matter how far along you are, you're always learning new little tips. So this is yours. All right, so I'm posting. There's the instructions. And so let's talk our way through this. You're going to get a piece of paper, blank piece of paper. And on that piece of paper, I want you to just write a few challenges. Have you ever lost a job, been divorced, lost a baby, been abused in some manner, been just over the top stressed? Have you ever taken on a good challenge? Doesn't have to be a bad one. Maybe you took on a new job that made you go, oh my gosh, what did I step into? Or you started a project and thought, I am never going to get through this. So it can be good or bad. Just list a few of those challenges as they come to mind. Now pick one of those. And on the back of your paper, write it at the top of the paper. So pick one of those challenges. That's going to be the one that we'll write about right now. You can go back and do all the rest because, hey, who are we to say no? We want to hear your stories. You've heard several stories from each of us. You have more than one. Mm-hmm. But on the back of your paper, write one of those challenges you encountered. Now we're going to walk through what you'll do with those. Once you've written your challenge at the top, write one short sentence about, not the challenge, but about what life was like before. Before I took on that new job, I had worked as the cashier for, 10 years and thought, I think I should be manager. Before my divorce, I had my whole life mapped out. So write that, how life was before the challenge. Just one sentence. You can flesh it out later. This is our notes. Now, underneath that, I want you to write 3 nouns. It's really important when we're telling a story to be descriptive. We want our people, our listeners, to be in that place with us. And if we use big, wide sentences like, oh, my life fell apart. Well, I'm not there with you. But if we use things like, I can't believe the sun came up that day. I was so mad. Mm-hmm. If we use those descriptive things, then that brings people in. So write 3 nouns that describe like a scent or a sound or a sight. You can come back and flesh these out later, but let's just start with those 3. Now, I want you to write 2 sentences about what happened. Not my world came crashing down, but I watched him drive out of my life in the car we just paid for. Something visual, 1 sentence that's going to get your story started. Tell about what actually happened. 2 sentences. Do 2 sentences. Because, watching him drive away in the car we just bought is the beginning. I bet you could follow it up with another one. Now, I bet you had some questions. When this was going on, when suddenly the life you had planned was gone. Suddenly, the dream you had seemed overwhelming. You had some questions. And you said, did I do the right thing? I thought I heard God. Why am I struggling so much? Well, did I just waste 8 years of my life? Did I, write some of those questions that you had. Why is there nobody to support me with all the people I fed into? So write a couple of those questions down. And then, who inspired you to move forward? I bet there's more than one person. Kim, was there more than one person who inspired you to move forward when your son passed away?
Still are.
Connie, what about you?
Oh my, a tribe.
A tribe. You are constantly meeting new people who are still giving you ideas and inspiring you and actually learning from you now, right? And when people rely on us, when we're able to teach others or to help others through, sometimes that's an inspiration for us to keep waking up and keep trying. I can hide out in my house, but I know that every single day people are expecting my 1 Minute Wiser videos. Even on days when I don't feel like doing anything, I know I need to get ready and do that because somebody needs that and God's going to use it. So write down a few of the people who inspired you, because when you tell your story, you're going to want to talk about some of those people.
And I want to just interject.
Mhm.
Kristi does a 1 Minute Wiser video on Facebook on her page every day to encourage people, but it's just a bite so that they can get started on a study or they can get a little perspective of something. It's not long.
2 minutes total.
It's very short, just to inspire and encourage and help people become closer, because a lot of us don't know where to start.
Yeah.
And so that's what she's talking about. I want to make sure they knew what you were
Oh,
talking
well,
about.
thank you so much. Yeah, 1 Minute Wiser. My business is 1 Moment Wiser, but from that I have 1 Minute Wiser, which is my daily devotional, and 1 Month Wiser, which is a devotional series. So on Facebook, a 1 Minute Wiser, you'll hear about a minute of scripture each day and about a minute of just some understanding of ourselves and our lives and how that applies. It's really fun, Monday through Friday. So thank you. I appreciate that. You know, if I had to write the name of the person who inspired me for that, Coni and my mother got together, and boy, they had so many ideas. I was hearing my mom on one phone and Coni on the other going, try these things. So you did not. Oh my gosh. Well, Coni inspired me later. Kim and my mother. Okay, that's great.
It was just cute to me because I thought, I didn't know Miss Coni knew your mama.
I would never have thought that.
I know your mama, but I didn't know Miss Coni did.
Okay, we're almost done with this. But okay, you didn't leap directly into perfection, right? I obviously haven't either. So now what you need to do is list 1 to 3 things that you did to get past this challenge. So I know there are different steps that each of us took. Kim talked about some of the things that she did that were kind of unusual, but when she had to bury her son, these were things that helped her get closure.
Yes.
And I know, you know, when I watched my husband drive off in our brand new car, I had to make lists about what I liked because I had lived my whole life around what he liked, and begin exploring the things that made me feel like me, and that discovering really awesome things that I wouldn't give up for anybody anymore. And so what did you do that helped you begin that process of change? And if you haven't begun the process of recovery and finding purpose, I dare you. I dare you. Don't stay stuck. Nobody deserves to take your life away from you. You own it. So, last thing, write 1 word of advice to someone that might be going through a similar situation. Now, we aren't an advice channel, but knowing what you've learned from this and where you found purpose in a difficult situation, that you got to know what that is. And writing that word of advice helps you articulate it better. The more you practice your story, the more you tell people about the situation, the better you'll be at giving, at helping others.
And it needs to have the redemptive part. You know, if I went around telling everyone that that my son passed away and I left it there,
Oh, that's just heartbreaking.
that is something that I would incite a lot of pity, but I don't want pity. I'm powerful, and I want you to be powerful. I want you to know that even though those things happened, this is where you can go today. Like, this is what you can get past. This is what you can do. We don't have to stay in those places, and our stories should not stay in those places.
Right.
Our stories need to come, you know, full circle. This is how I felt before. This is what happened. This is what, you know, the process. And then now this is what's going on.
I think that's a really important point,
Yeah.
because if you just stop at your story and not, it's actually our job to find. I always talk about the gift of the opportunity. It's our responsibility. If we're gonna honor what's happened to us, whatever it is,
Yes.
we're gonna honor that and realize that this was a part of our journey, we have to look for that next step, and it's our responsibility to find it.
That's right. Relationships, even though people might flock around you when you're hurting, they don't stay long if you stay in that hurting situation. Now, that is not a reason to rush yourself and fake being okay. Mm-hmm. We talked about how destructive that can be yesterday. And you need to take the time to feel it. Even if there's nobody else around but you, take the time to feel it, experience it, acknowledge it, heal. But yeah, your goal isn't to stay there. Your goal is to make it all the way through. So that, man, the relationships that I have now are phenomenal. The husband that I have now is much more fitted to who I am. The friends that we have now, the people we've been meeting the last couple of days and introducing to you, well, I guess Kim has known a lot of them, but the people we've been sharing with you the last couple of days, those are amazing people. And we are able to connect now because we aren't just people who've hurt. Mm-hmm. We're people who've hurt and found that other side.
And I have a theory. I teach a lot of things in mastermind groups and things. And this is one of the things that I teach to anyone that will stand still. If you want to rock a room, you want to go in and own a room, walk in that room and find out how to serve. We want to walk in and we want to be the prettiest girl at the ball. We want our dance card full.
All eyes on me.
Exactly. Except that the minute we walk in, if we go in the room the wrong way, we immediately look to see is Kristi's jewelry prettier than mine? Is Miss Coni dressed cuter than I am? She is so cute. And I know guys do the same thing. What business are you in? I'm in this business. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. If we would lay all that down and walk in the room and see how we can serve, we can actually own the whole room because it stands out when you're serving. It stands out to people and then they're attracted to you. I teach sexy business and sexy is attractive. Mm-hmm. I want to be able to walk in a room and everyone be attracted not to my red dress or red lips but to my heart. Yes. The fact that I do care what's going on with the people. Your story needs to do the same thing. Your story needs to rock the room that you're in. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's not live. Maybe it's not online yet. Maybe it's not in front of people yet. But being prepared to be able to articulate your story is so, oh my goodness, I can't even tell you how important it is.
It's empowering for you.
It's empowering for you. So rock the room that you're in. I think that's the biggest thing is it doesn't matter what room it is.
I like that. Rock the room.
Rock the room. Rock the room because you want it to be something that that does rock the room. But I will tell you something else too. I've been through a lot in my lifetime. All of us have. I go back sometimes when I'm having a hard time, and I will look at my own story and say, oh yeah, this is where God showed up. This is where this changed for me because I got past myself.
Yeah.
I have a hard time, I get tickled because I'm so silly online. I'm silly on the conference. I'm just silly anyway. But, I panic sometimes when the live button comes on. Just being real. But the funny thing about that is, people look at me and go, oh, I can't wait, till I can do that like you. And I'm thinking, you don't want to be, and one
a heart attack every hour.
One of the girls this morning that I know that is precious to me, she doesn't even have any idea how precious. Angela Stillwell, I don't even know if she'll watch the video at all, but I'm going to give her credit anyway. She brought up a really good point. Stop using that panic word. Stop talking about the panic that I feel when the live button goes on. Change it to being excited. And see, I teach that all the time. If you think you're nervous, you're not nervous, you're excited. It's the same emotion. Use it for the
Same bunch of chemistry, turn it positive.
Yes.
Exactly.
And then the same teacher that was saying that is talking about panicking when the live button comes on. And panicking when the computer has to update and won't let us on, and the app won't start, and the internet won't work, and all of those things. And so here's the thing I'm saying. Whatever it is that you are struggling with telling or thinking you might want to tell, but thinking, oh my goodness, no way. Think about the people that are impacted if you show up.
We have someone watching who has impacted so many lives because she has told her story. Cheryl Jennings. Hi. I love Cheryl. Cheryl wrote this book, It Takes Courage to Be a Caregiver. But that wasn't where Cheryl started.
Yeah.
Cheryl started with a son who was born with cerebral palsy. And she it was way back when there just wasn't any help to be found. And she kept telling her story and
she's a pioneer in caregiving.
Absolutely. She's a phenomenal.
She got services. She got people to pay attention. She got people to give her son the care he needed. And he's celebrated his 50th?
I think he's 40. I don't know. Cheryl,
way longer than
Cheryl, you tell us. I think his last birthday was he 47?
Let's see what she said.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know that she'll tell us.
Yeah. But she is terrific. And she has just built a whole network of people talking about her experiences so that they can be helped. 47, fantastic. And she actually has a radio show now?
She is actually on iHeartRadio.
That's so cool.
We know the coolest people. I don't say that. Cheryl, we're your groupies. You know this.
And I met her at the Toastmasters meeting.
Definitely.
But
her radio show is just phenomenal.
Yes. And she has guest speakers come on. Well, okay, here's another thing I'll just point out.
Yeah.
We're telling you to get prepared, and here's another instance of being prepared. Because Cheryl has people come on every week and give their story, tell their story in the redemptive part. See, that's the thing is we don't want to get stuck. We don't want to get stuck in the place that what's going on.
Exactly.
We want to talk about the thing that happened, but we also want to talk about Cheryl. Her son is still here. He's a beautiful boy, and he is still here. He has done. He's even done some things, and I get tickled because Cheryl was given some pretty, I will just say, bad advice when he was young because nobody understood. But I actually have a picture in my office that Blake, who has cerebral palsy, painted for me.
Oh,
wow.
that's awesome.
And when I get to feeling, sorry for myself because, technology's not working in this princess's favor, I can look at that and remember, you know what? Cheryl got through all of that stuff.
And she didn't have technology like we have.
She didn't have. But here's the thing. If you are out there and you're listening, don't hesitate to get your story prepared.
That's right.
It doesn't mean that tomorrow you're going to be, in front of 1,000 people, but get it prepared so that if you are, you're ready. You're ready to be able to give that point of, it's okay, you're going to make it.
Even if it's only in front of one person.
One person matters.
I'm a singer and songwriter, but for years I sang and wrote songs in my backyard, and people kept saying, "Oh, you're a singer, sing something," and I would go completely blank. The day that I started, that I said, "No, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to have something on hand in my mind to do." That's the day that my songwriting and singing career started taking off, and I started building bands. Well, the same thing with your story. It doesn't necessarily become a career, although it could. It has for several of our guests. But don't say, "Oh man, I have so many stories, I don't know where to start." Start.
Yeah.
Start and have something on your mind ready to speak.
Just pick one.
Speak life
Exactly.
into people.
Just one.
Because here's the thing is we all have multiple stories. We all have, and there's this illusion that we've been through the most stuff because we're on here. It's not true.
No.
There are people out there that have been through way more than we've been through. And thank God we didn't have to go through that.
Yeah.
But, when we go through things, if we do choose to help other people, there's something very healing in that for us. Something very healing, and you'll catch this bug. I just have to tell you, you'll catch this addiction.
You'll be glad you did.
Which one was talking about being addicted yesterday? They were addicted to watching the miracles happen.
Right.
Was it Diana?
I think it was Diana.
Mm-hmm.
That you get addicted to,
Miracles.
to
It's true.
miracles and to watching people's lives change. And we don't want anybody around us to have, to suffer unnecessarily. Because that's the thing is we suffer because we're here.
Mhm.
There are things that happen in life that unnecessarily.
Right.
Unnecessarily. We don't want to keep our story hidden and not give someone the hope they need to get through it. So please do the exercises, go back and pause and write things out and do like Kristi's instructions were, because this is a huge deal. Tracy Randall talked about yesterday that this is world changing. Everybody says that, but this really is. This conference really is life changing for a lot of people because they get on and they find out the possibilities and the opportunities and they get hope.
It is. Cheryl just made a really very important comment that I noticed yesterday, actually. Last night I came back to get my Connie's phone charger and ran into Kim. And all of a sudden the desk clerk is sharing about her losing her child. When you've been through something, a lot of times God's going to put in your path the people who've also been through that may still be dealing with the pain. So if you have that story available, they're gonna be there, and you'll be surprised. You'll feel suddenly like the whole world has suffered the same thing, but it's because those people are being put in your path. And that's happened with Cheryl, who, by the way, just launched another book. She says, all right, In Her Shoes, a Stronger Version of Me. Thanks, Cheryl.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Well,
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations. She is one of our princess friends.
Yes.
Just saying. Well, Miss Coni has she has found a way to let people speak through written word. Like Miss Coni owns a publishing company, and she does she puts together anthologies that help people be able to tell their story. And I laugh, and I have princess vocabulary, but I laugh because I think it's one chapter at a time. They tell their story one chapter at a time. They may not be able to be to the point they can tell the whole thing.
Yeah.
But if you can tell a part of something that you came through,
Absolutely.
Yeah, instead of writing a 30,000 page book, you write a chapter, and other people write their chapters. And then
I think it's a great way
I
of
think it's
sharing
powerful.
different. It's like putting hope to hope in a book.
in
Yes.
book form. Oh, I agree. We should have a hotel.
We should
Oh.
have a hope.
Did you see those light bulbs? Okay.
That was okay. That
To
was
be announced.
that was the gift with all the technology this
Oh
morning.
my goodness. We needed a gift.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If you are listening to us, that means that we might possibly be your flavor.
Yes.
And if you're listening to our silliness and all that, because it's a serious thing, we can sit up here and cry, and we did yesterday parts of the day, but we choose to have a good time. We choose to have fun, even when we're talking about really hard things. So whatever your story is, do not let that lay dormant.
Yes.
Put it in writing and get ready to rock the world. We'll be back at 10:30 this morning with Meg Winecoff.
Oh,
We
you'll love
cannot wait.
Awesome.
She's our next session, so be sure and tune in for the next session. If you've missed any, go back and watch them. We are in awe. We are in the middle of this, and we're in awe.
Absolutely.
So anyway, thank you guys for being
Yes.
with us, and please tell your story so that we can we can. And if you're ready to tell your story and you already have it all organized and prepared,
let us know.
Shoot us a message. We're always looking for amazing speakers.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So anyway, thank you guys. Love you guys. This is
Bye.
Kim White with the My Sexy Business team.
And Kristi Bridges from One Moment Wiser.
And Coni Meyers with Crystalline Publisher.
Man, we have like so much. Love you guys.